All right, hello and welcome back to the Dojo Podcast. This is episode 5. My name is Kyle.
I'm Logan, but you already knew that.
And this
It's Karah.
is Karah. So, as we teased last week, today is going to be a special science-themed episode, but you're going to have to stay tuned through the rest of the podcast in order to get to that.
We're just trying to get our average watch time above 3.5 minutes. So we're teasing our best segment for the end of the show.
But don't skip ahead, because we're still going to have a lot of juicy
We're going to have
content.
such great stuff like Trader Joe's food item of the week, which we're not going to put a timestamp because we want you to have to watch the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Now, how, Kyle, maybe you could do a better job at kind of articulating this. How do we know Karah?
Yes. Very important.
Yes. Well, this is my girlfriend. Her name is Karah, and she's a science teacher. Going to be a science teacher.
Yeah.
That is why she's our resident scientist, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So we met here at school, college, a couple years ago.
Go Beavs.
Go Beavs. And she was our roommate. And we would ask her all of our science questions. Anything science related, Karah was there to answer it. So we figured that would be an excellent bit into our life.
Right.
Particularly Logan would just, randomly come in.
I mean, I have Google at my fingertips, but that's not as personal.
Yeah.
You got to get that personal touch.
It would be like, well.
Thomas with the little sneak appearance. Now, Karah, question.
Mm-hmm.
This is more of a just to kind of really fill out the background,
Right.
Really get all the knowledge for the audience.
Uh-huh.
What are your credentials as a scientist?
Uh-huh. Sorry,
Question mark?
there's a lot. Like Kyle said, I got my undergrad here in biomedical science with a emphasis in pharmacy, minor in psychology. I did research for a while.
Where?
Both here at Oregon State and then also at OHSU.
Oh, very prestigious.
Which is
I'm familiar.
Oregon Health and Sciences University in
Okay.
Portland. So I did research with EEGs, electroencephalograms, little things that you put on your head, and
We all know that.
Yeah,
very well.
of course.
Oh,
And we did research.
oh.
Here he comes.
Surprise guest
Here's
on the
man.
podcast. Vincent Tom. Continue, Karah.
Oh yes, of course. And then let's see. I specialize in technical writing. That's kind of science related.
She's helped me sculpt my resume
Yes.
and get me an internship. So thanks, Karah.
You're welcome.
Shout out, Karah.
And then I am just about to get my master's in teaching math and science. And I did my
Whoa.
student internship in high school chemistry, also endorsed in high school physics, and general physical science.
Very cool.
Very cool. Now, I know we were going to do this, but there's something I totally forgot about that's not on the list. You mentioned something high school. Now,
Right.
Where did you go to high school, Karah? Where are you from?
I am from Issaquah, Washington.
Okay. Any fun facts about Issaquah that the audience might know?
Anything recently in the news?
I was going for Costco, but you just went right.
Oh,
Oh
yikes,
yeah.
I was
Oh,
going
I
for
do.
the-
I live 5 minutes away from Costco on.
All right, let's
Or
not
I
maybe
guess
give out your
I
address.
grew up there. Well, Westlake Spanish Parkway
Sure.
is very large.
Yes.
Yes.
It's like 200 yards long.
Very long. Very. I think that's an underestimated
Okay.
approximation. So I went to Issaquah High School. It was in the news somewhat recently.
Yeah, exactly. Can you explain to me? Because it's all a bit hazy for
Mm-hmm.
me. What happened there recently that caught the news' attention? I saw you posted on Facebook, and I thought, wow, fun story. Just
Fun
real
story.
blast.
So my alma mater, Issaquah High School, was in the news because there was a young lady that asked a gentleman to a school dance with a poster that was very, very racist and racially insensitive. And it said, if I was black, I would be picking cotton, but instead I'm picking you. And that was the way that she asked him to the school dance.
This is like the point in the post edit where I add a little boy. thing.
And-
Yeah, that's pretty terrible.
Yeah, it's really, really
it's
awful.
really
The
bad.
fact that
And
shit is happening.
They were both Caucasian, correct?
Both Caucasian, both very, very Caucasian. And the fact that she had the intellect and the forewhat to take that idea, make it reality, actually execute it,
And then post
And
it.
then post
and
it
then never
Share
think
it.
along
on
the way.
social media. Never think. No one ever said, "Huh, you know, that might actually be not a good idea."
Might get a little bit of blowback
Might
on
get a
that
little
one.
bit of
Just
pushback.
a little bit of
This ain't it.
not good coverage.
But yeah, you know, I'm not surprised, but perhaps that's
Really?
for later in the episode. Or is it right now?
We could save it for whenever you want. I thought it was interesting because like her like public statement afterwards was like, anyone who knows me knows
that
that
I'm not
in my
racist.
true heart, yada
Yeah.
yada yada, I'm not racist. I feel like every time something happens where someone is exposed for like past racist comments, or not that past in this scenario, that was not that long ago, they're always like, "Oh, but I'm not
It's
actually
like my
racist."
true heart.
Yeah,
What
I just-
heart did you
yeah.
use to make this?
Yeah, it's a secondary
Racist.
one. It's
Yeah, it's
very
my-
hidden.
My
Yeah.
secondary
Haven't you heard
aorta.
of it?
But yeah, it's like you're mad. It's not like you're sorry that you did it. You're sorry that you got in trouble for it,
Mhm.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really a very unfortunate situation because on one hand, I feel bad because she is 17. She made a mistake. We all did dumb stuff when we were 17. Well, I did, but don't know.
I was a
others.
good boy.
I
didn't
was
write
pretty dumb
racial
when I was 7.
comments on
Okay, I
posters.
never did anything like that. No. It was just, like generic 17-year-old stuff.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so she's 17, she made a mistake. Unfortunately, she made a really, really big mistake and clearly has some moral reflection to do with her life. But also, I don't know. I don't feel that bad because I'm not surprised. This behavior is not condoned necessarily outright by the community that I was brought up in.
Yeah.
And it still isn't today, even though they're very good at piling on the sort of diversity initiatives and changes that they're making, and they're like, oh, now we're really ethnically diverse, and it's like, yes, but that's because of a lot of reasons, such as tech companies in the area outsource to other countries around the world for talent because it's cheaper and it's easier, etc., etc. It's a lot less complicated than, wow, look at us, we're not all white anymore like we used to be.
Right. Yeah, I was really surprised when I saw this news. I saw the news and I was like, man, that sucks for her. That's really rough. And then I saw you post it and I was like, why the fuck would Karah do this? Well, why is she involved in this? And then I clicked the article and I was like, oh shit, that's Issaquah, Washington. That's like Seattle, which is like, really pretty liberal and Seattle, Issaquah, would you consider it like what would you consider Issaquah in the relation to Seattle? Just a city near it or like a
It's
suburb of it?
Suburb, yeah.
So it's like kind of like Beaverton to Portland type thing?
It's like Lake
Like
Oswego.
Oh, it's like
Oswego, sorry, I always
oh,
mispronounce that.
you're like, oh, I live in the
She's
Lake
not
Oswego of
from-
Seattle.
No, well, it is what it
It's
is.
more upper
And
English.
also, I'll just say this for kind of PR purposes. I like Issaquah just as a place that I grew up in. Yeah, nothing against Issaquah itself. However, it is a very unfortunate and tragic circumstance that
Very
this happened,
unfortunate.
and
It is very
unfortunately, even more so, I am not surprised.
Oh, that's pretty rough.
Mhm.
Just for PR circumstances, from my point of view, I guess,
You have to backtrack.
I like all people of all skin colors, and I would never make
Oh,
such a
man.
racially insensitive comment publicly. Okay, so Kyle.
Publicly, ever.
Right, ever. So Kyle, now she talked about how she did like some usual 17-year-old stuff. Do you have any kind of interesting did you get up to some hijinks in high school? I know my man's Kyle got into some shit in high school. Please put it on the internet right now.
Probably the craziest thing I did was senior year of high school. I went to the Pokemon State Championships for the trading card game, and I got third place out of
Whoa.
152 people.
150.
Whoa.
Interesting number.
What are the odds?
And there are live streams out there, pre-recorded live streams with actual commentators commentating my games. And I beat the 2011 Pokemon TCG World Champion in one of my games.
Now, side question, Kyle. Was it
Yes.
live streamed or was it pre-recorded? Because those are, I feel like they contradict a little bit.
What, did I say both?
Yeah, you said a pre-recorded live stream.
Oh, well, that was not what I meant. There is a recording of the live stream on YouTube. If you search Kyle Andrews Pokemon, there it is.
There it is.
That's the craziest
There
thing
it
I did
is.
in high school.
I didn't do anything crazy in high school either, so
That's, yeah.
I'm not going to tell any stories, even though I forced you to just tell one. Okay, we can now actually get into the topics that we have. We never mentioned it, but I figure I'd mention it now. We didn't do sports because we're recording this on April 12th.
Yes.
And we recorded the last one like 2 days ago, so all the sports topics aren't relevant. But in case you're wondering what's happening now, Luke Walton got fired. We're not going to talk about it.
Poor Luke.
R.I.P.
Not so poor. So first topic, the Disney investors conference happened yesterday, and then Star Wars weekend is happening today, this weekend. Why they don't do that over May the 4th, I have no idea. But a bunch of big news has come out, mainly about their new streaming service, Disney Plus. In which case, if anyone hasn't read about it, it's like a Netflix competitor. It's gonna have most of the Disney catalog on it, not everything, for $7 a month, which is pretty fucking cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta wonder though, I feel like the Netflix catalog is constantly evolving. They're taking off
Right.
shows, putting shows on. Is Disney gonna do the same thing, or is it just gonna be ever growing? Because at some point, you're gonna have watched everything that Disney has to offer for a
Right.
specific period of time.
Well, so I think that they could do that, and they could try and make some artificial scarcity or whatever. But I think that they have original programs coming. They have a Star Wars show called The Mandalorian. They have multiple Marvel shows based around current characters in the Avengers and whatnot. They have a bunch of original content coming. They're doing a live action adaptation of Lady and the Tramp that will not have a theatrical release. It will be exclusive to Disney Plus, which is interesting. Did you not hear about this?
No.
Well, the first image they released was literally two dogs sitting on a stoop. So if you can imagine that, you can imagine it.
I can imagine two dogs sitting on a stoop. Yes.
So yeah, I think it's just this streaming service, pretty good value, especially considering the Netflix standard plan is $13 or something like this. That's not expensive, but compared to the Disney catalog, which I guess I understand that Disney's stuff, they all they said that they're not going to put anything over PG-13 on this service. So
Really?
you're not going to get Pulp Fiction level stuff on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Whereas you would on Netflix and Hulu. Granted, Disney owns a majority stake in Hulu, so maybe that's just where they'll put all the adult content.
Yeah.
If I had to guess.
Do they even make content over PG-13?
Disney?
Yeah.
Well, they used to own a bunch of companies that would
Yeah.
do that sort of stuff. It wasn't under the Disney label.
Yeah.
It wasn't until Star Wars and Marvel and stuff that they even put Disney label stuff over PG. It used to just be all the animated stuff, and they had other companies. But then Pirates of the Caribbean came out, and it was Disney, and I was ooh, Disney's so edgy with this
Crazy.
adult content. Whoa, pirates? But yeah, pretty wild. Another thing that happened this weekend, the new Star Wars trailer. You guys watch it?
No.
No.
Didn't watch it.
Sorry.
Okay, that's all right. It's all right. You don't
How
really
was it?
care. It's fine. So here's the thing. I had no investment in Star Wars after episode 8. I really didn't like it. I mean, it was fun, but fuck it, sucks. Killed all my hype. And then this trailer came out, and I was okay.
I'm intrigued.
I remember
Alright,
when
you
you
got
saw the trailer for episode
Episode 8?
8. Yes, and you were really excited.
I was so excited.
And then you were not
I
excited.
can tell you, it was probably the only movie that I've been so excited for. I was sitting in the theater, and 20 minutes later, I literally went, "Oh no! Do I really?" I was I gotta give it, I gotta give it its chance because I didn't really like it, and then I just kept. I was it'll pick up, I'll eventually like it, and it didn't pick up. I was so not sure that I hated it, that I was like, I need to go see it a second time to make sure that I don't like it. So I did myself through it again. Still didn't like it the second time, and it's been on Netflix for like a year now, and I still haven't watched it on Netflix because I didn't like it the second time I watched it.
Well, didn't it do pretty poorly at the box office too?
No.
Oh.
It did really well at the box office. Solo didn't.
Oh, yep.
Solo didn't, which I actually enjoyed Solo.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I wasn't because you guys, it doesn't make any sense to you, but the previous directors who directed the Lego movie.
I know the Lego movie.
Likes Legos. They directed the Lego movie.
What is it? What is it again?
Lego.
Okay.
With no S. They directed the Lego movie and they wrote Spider-Verse, and I was like, oh, it's going to be so great. And then they fired him, and I was like, fuck you. So I thought it was going to suck, and then I was like, okay, Disney, it's not bad.
It wasn't bad.
But no one else saw it, so they're not going to make any more Star Wars movies after 9, apparently, for a while. But yeah, I thought that was just interesting because as these streaming services start popping up, CBS has got one, DC has got one. It's almost like cable is just taking on a new, like, form factor. Everyone was like, fuck cable, we like Netflix, and now everyone's like, I got Netflix, Hulu, CBS, HBO. Disney Plus,
Xfinity.
Apple, yeah. Well, isn't that cable?
Yeah, that was the whole point. We moved away from cable.
Next segment?
Next segment.
But real talk, I think I kind of squeezed all the juice out of that one. Let's go on to the next segment.
Okay.
I don't know anything about this next segment, so Karah, maybe you could...
Speaking of your hometown, Karah, we were talking about that a whole lot earlier.
Right.
Why don't we hop into some more Issaquah, Washington?
Yeah, this is really not painting Issaquah, Washington in a very good light right now, but
that's all right.
when he brought up Disney Plus, I thought about the new movie that is very hyped up, won awards at Sundance, is going to be put on Netflix. They thought it was going to be put on Netflix in October, but it's actually going to be on Netflix on May 3rd. The Ted Bundy movie, and I'm going to butcher the name, but it's extremely evil, incredibly wicked and violent.
Extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and
vile. Yes.
Sorry, I had to pull it up.
It turns out that that's the word. Those were the words of the attorney that was trying to prosecute him. Yeah.
What is this movie about? Ted Bundy?
Yes, Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy. So, like, I don't really know literally anything other than he killed a bunch of people, and, like, people, like, women today, not all women, some women are like, oh, he's hot.
Oh, well, that's just
crazy bitches.
Yeah, but it's...
Not all.
No. Well, it's interesting to see sort of that paradigm between women who think that these guys are good looking and they're hot and that they're charismatic and all that stuff, and just sort of, I don't know, it's an interesting conversation to have about abnormal psychology and mental illness and mental disorders and what do people look like who are quote unquote crazy. And everyone imagines, just kind of like an asylum or really delusional, visibly disturbed, visibly confused. And that's really not the case. You can know normal people in your everyday life that you think are physically attractive, think that are smart, think that are funny or clever, anything that you would not associate with the abnormal. And that is sort of what's appealing from sort of a criminal psychology standpoint, to me at least, about the Ted Bundy case, because everyone does think that he's hot. And he is. He's physically attractive.
You heard it here first.
Him as physically attractive.
Who's he being played by?
Zac Efron.
Zac Efron.
Another man who is
Hollywood's
physically attractive.
Ugh. Zac Efron. Always has my heart. Another Disney star.
Oh.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. But also Disney Plus is going to have more than 100 Disney Channel original movies. Okay, sorry, go back. That includes High School Musical. I'm sorry, go back.
Okay.
And the second one. I'm sorry, go back.
Zac Efron.
Zac Efron. Yeah, so that's sort of why that's interesting to me. But again, it's really fucked up because it's also...
This one's for the boys.
Him.
Sorry.
Anyways.
Really loud.
No, but it's also... I definitely empathize with the idea that it's glorifying him as a serial killer and a murderer and a horrible, horrible human being.
They should have had Kyle play him.
Why?
Okay, well,
because you fit the physical and psychological profile of Ted Bundy.
let's not pin that on Kyle.
You know what Kyle would like to talk about? his Trader Joe's food item of the week.
Wait, I need to talk about why Ted Bundy is associated with Issaquah really briefly.
Pause.
Oh, that's right.
Rewind.
All right.
Pause, rewind. Ted Bundy is associated with Issaquah because Ted Bundy committed a lot of his murders in his early years in my hometown of Issaquah, Washington, specifically Lake Sammamish State Park and the Taylor Mountain Trails. And you will see that in the Ted Bundy movie, I think, but you can also see that on the Ted Bundy tapes that are currently on Netflix. So.
Have you guys ever seen the movie Zodiac?
Yes.
Pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a great movie. It's about the Zodiac killers. Robert Downey Jr.'s in it. Mark Ruffalo's in it. They're like, oh, let's hunt the Zodiac killer for 2 hours. And then if you know anything about that case, they didn't find him.
Mm-hmm.
So any of us could be the Zodiac killers from the crimes that happened in the 80s. Was it the 80s?
Well, we were none of us were.
That's the joke.
I get it.
All right. Trader Joe's?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Trader
What were you
Joe's
saying?
food item of the week. All right. Made it through, a little spillage there. Made it through most of the items that I normally eat on a day-to-day basis. However, leaving some sweets out of it. So, what we got here, we have the Trader Joe's Oatmeal Cranberry Dunkers. Some cookies, some cookie action for us. So, we're going to pop these bad boys
Now,
open.
Kyle, these Dunkers, where do
Yes.
they get their name?
You know, I believe, now if we closely examine an individual cookie, what do you notice about this cookie? It's pretty long, right? It's
No, it's
designed.
not very long, all right, Karah?
It's designed to fit into a glass of some sort of beverage, probably a tea or a coffee, so that you can, a little soak, nom nom. So yeah, everybody take a
I was
dunker.
about to say, did you bring enough to share with the class?
I did. There are a shit ton in here.
Whoa, look
All
at
right.
this guy. This guy looks a little familiar.
You guys take the first bite. All right, here we go. Just hopping right into this. Nice and not stale.
Oh, I already took my bite. In the words of my brother, these cookies are crack.
They're crack. You know what I've just noticed about this show,
One.
this podcast?
Bad.
Very true, very true. Low production values here at the Dojo Podcast, but you love us anyways.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're like The View or the Today Show or something. We're like, so tell me what you've been working on. What have you been working on lately? Tell the audience a little about little projects you've been working on. It's great. I really love it. We just need some like coffee, and in the case of
Got some
Kathy
brewskis.
Lee and the other one, some wine. We need some of that because they are day drunk at 10 a.m. and I love it.
Well, yeah.
I'm not going to finish this because it's going to take me a long time to chew. Some crunchy boys.
We got about 7 minutes left, so let's get to the science. First question, Karah.
Okay.
So, I prepped you for this one yesterday.
Okay.
A plane is flying over, and I'll probably put some sort of visual in the edit. If I don't, it's because I had too many assignments.
I still don't understand it.
I'll do it in the air.
Okay.
You're in a plane.
Okay, you're in a plane.
Not on Earth, because Earth's atmosphere is probably not tall enough for this.
Mm-hmm.
You jump. No parachute. There's a hill that is so steep. Could you run down the hill and slow down in time to not die and like run down the hill without a parachute? Is that possible?
How much space is there between the top of the hill and you jumping out of the plane?
A lot.
No.
Why?
Because the impact of you touching the top of the hill, wherever it is,
But
even
the
if
top
it's
of the
like-
hill isn't like this. It's like that. And it's slowly over like miles
Logan,
gets flat.
I hear you. Let's let Kyle share his opinion.
Okay, so if the hill is not very tall, your velocity is going to be so great going down that at some point the hill is going to be steep enough that your velocity combined with the gravity is just going to smash you into the hill. Even if it's very, very gradual, your velocity doesn't slow down when you're running.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the main issue. That's why, so if there's a big distance between the top of the hill and the plane, you're not going to be able to make it. But if you're just running right away, theoretically you could go slow enough to make it.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll accept it.
I agree.
Next question. So, this one was called treadmill because I don't want to spoil it ahead of time. So,
Okay.
if I'm on a plane,
Mhm.
no,
God.
I'm not on.
Why are you on a plane?
I'm not on a plane.
Okay.
A plane. Just
You're playing.
period. Next sentence.
Okay.
Plane.
Plane.
Treadmill.
Mm-hmm.
Big treadmill.
Okay.
So big.
Mm-hmm.
A plane is on it.
Okay.
We're at LAX. There's a 747 on a treadmill that's so wide that the 747 can fit on it.
Mm-hmm.
Or any plane. Doesn't have to be a
I should
747.
mention my brother and my dad are Boeing engineers.
Okay, so you should.
One's a flight
You'll be
engineer.
very.
You'll be able to
qualified
give me
answer
the
this
answer that I
question.
want.
Okay, hopefully. Or we could call him. But
They're on a treadmill, and the plane's like time for takeoff starts going. Then the treadmill starts to speed up, and it's speeding up to match this plane that's going super fast. Like let's imagine it's like a jet, like a
Right.
military jet
Yep.
because it's
Mhm.
so fast.
Mhm.
Could
all
it
hypothetical.
could
yes.
it take off from the treadmill?
Wait, so is it turning the wheels?
Yeah, because
And then it's gonna abruptly stop.
like the treadmill,
No.
gone. No.
If there's no one at the, you have to give it lift. So if you're not giving the plane lift, then it can't gain enough momentum or inertia in order to maintain lift and take off and stay in the air.
Wow, I'm really disappointed.
Sorry.
We could eliminate runways.
You can't just like go straight.
Yeah, we could just
or
get a
else
bunch
you
of
literally
treadmills,
just
and it's a
go
bunch
straight.
of planes working
You
off the
have to have
calories from
some
that
kind
dessert
of
last night.
upwards force. So if you don't,
So what if you had a treadmill that had holes in it? It was a porous treadmill. It was like Swiss cheese, and underneath was me. No, it was a big fan, like the size of like a refrigerator, blasting up, and they.
I
No.
feel like that has to do with the velocity
Yeah.
of it going forward.
yeah, I don't think so.
Lots of velocity talk here.
Yeah, a lot of your questions have to do with velocity, acceleration, friction. A lot of
What's your
physics.
last question?
Do you have any questions about chemistry? I feel like I know more about
Kind of.
that. Okay.
Not really at all. So my next question: why is it so with the whole black hole news that's come out this week?
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's got me thinking. How come like I'll read news articles or whatever on Reddit that's like, there's a planet, we've discovered a planet 6 billion light years away that rains diamonds sideways, and it's like, oh cool. But then I'll read an article like a week later that's like, we think Mars might have water.
Mhm.
Why the fuck do we know so much about planets that are so far away, but something's like a stone's throw away in the scale of the universe, and we're like, we might know one tiny element that it has. I know water is too.
There are a lot of different ways that I feel like I could answer this question.
All right, well, we got 2 minutes.
Okay, well, not a space scientist, not a NASA person, so this is even not really familiar at all with what NASA is currently doing. I would think that
Chemtrails.
no.
Shout out your cousin.
So shout out Logan's cousin. I think that some of those planets that are billions of light years away, millions, billions of light years away, doesn't mean that we've necessarily actually gone that far. It could also mean that hypothetically scientists have used data from surrounding galaxies or what they predict would be the atmosphere of that certain planet.
Like within that distance.
Within
from
that
the
distance
sun
from
and
that
all this.
sun, that given star. It's hypothetical, I don't know, just
Size.
like gravitational pull, size, yeah, stuff like that. So they can then hypothesize that it is what it is.
So like the
conditions
raining
of the
diamonds
planet.
thing is more like, we think there's diamonds, but it's a catchy headline
Well, yeah,
to say
because
it rains
diamonds
diamonds.
are just like highly pressurized carbon.
Whereas like on Mars, when they're like, we think there's some algae under the ice, they don't know because they want to get it right.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot more specific. And to determine if there's you have to first of all have the right equipment up there already. You have to preserve the specimen if you want to bring it back to Earth, or you have to have scientists up there in order to test it, and then they have to make sure that it wasn't contaminated with their own biological, organic stuff. Anything else that came from the Earth.
Probably not.
don't worry, I've got a little bag of tricks when
You
I
know
go
what?
to edit. I've got little beep. I've got a little, like a cat meow. I can do the cat meow this time.
Anyways, so that is why.
Yeah, I was gonna say on the lines of it being like a bold headline, they can make pretty broad claims about something that's whatever you said, 6 million light years away, because chances are in our lifetime, no one is ever going to be able to make it there, fact check. But it's very possible, very realistic that we're going to be on Mars in our lifetimes. Yeah. Even in the next decade or two.
Also, Reddit karma is a thing, so people might just totally make that up. Make things up in order.
Because how many times do you actually click the article?
Sometimes. Here's the thing, though. I trust that everyone else is going to do that, so they'll check it for me. It wouldn't get to the front page if it wasn't at least somewhat accurate to what the article was saying.
Oh, that was front page news.
Yeah, I don't just go deep diving on r/science.
You don't sort by new?
Oh. No. I'm going to make a bold claim now.
Okay.
There's a planet 6 quintillion light years away.
Oh, wow.
Where there's intelligent life. It's very similar to ours. In which there is a version of me, Logan Hockley, that is actually...
That's actually called the Fermi paradox, just by the way. Fermi paradox is the idea that statistically there should be intelligent life.
I tried to quote that our last podcast. It hasn't come out yet, so
and I called myself China Logan or whatever.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I was trying to remember what is the statistic? We'll wrap it up here. What is the statistic of like the percentage of the likelihood of us being the only intelligent living species? Is it like 30 or 40%?
Yeah. It's 30%.
I'm probably gonna cut that because we already talked about it.
That's okay.
Fermi paradox. We're back. Fermi paradox is the idea that there is at the very most only a 30% chance that we are alone in the universe. The calculations for the Fermi paradox, which actually have an equation, by the way, the Fermi equation. You guys can Google it if you want.
Fermi?
Yes.
Like the little dolls from the 90s with the eyes?
No,
I think those are Furbies.
Good try.
They came up with it.
Yeah. So, basically, we're probably not alone. You're probably right. There probably is an intelligent Logan life form somewhere
That's
else.
so intelligent.
6 quintillion light years away, or whatever you said. Yeah. That is, yeah.
Thank you, and everyone, for watching the Dojo Podcast. I'm going to go spend the next hour on... So thanks for watching. I'm not putting that in the episode.